2.
Good evening, everyone. This is High Point Mayor Jay Wagner. I'm speaking for the folks listening online. I want to thank everybody for coming out tonight. There's a quorum of council present. All members of council are present except for Councilman Britt Moore, who's unable to be here tonight. So we have 8 of us instead of 9. I want to thank everybody in the audience and those listening online for taking part in your local government and being here tonight. Local government is the most important government, in my opinion. Certainly the one that has the most effect over your life, and I'm happy to have y'all here, and very happy to have you taking part tonight. To begin our meeting, I'll first ask for everyone to stand for a moment of silence, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. The first item on our agenda is something that I look forward to every year, and that is our annual resolution honoring our extraordinary educators. And I see a few of you, hopefully more than a few of you in the audience. I know there's some faces out there I recognize. I want to thank y'all for coming out today. I'm going to read this proclamation, and it's going to include each school and their extraordinary educator, and I will apologize in advance if I mispronounce any names. I do the best I can. Maybe I should have had a better education. But I do the best I can, and if I butcher it, I'm apologizing in advance. But as I announce them, I'd like to have y'all come forward, maybe as I announce them, and kind of start on this end and line up, because we're going to get a picture when this is over. And it gives me an excuse to embarrass you a little bit, too. So, okay. With that, whereas the schools of our city are comprised of exceptional educators, and whereas they seize the opportunities to uplift their students and remind students of their worth and potential, and whereas through their commitment to the schools, this group of extraordinary educators has earned the respect and trust of their colleagues, and whereas these educators were formally recognized on August 19th, 2022 by their community, which includes the High Point Schools Partnership, the High Point Community Foundation, Ministers Conference of High Point and Vicinity, Signature Wealth Strategies, and other supporters. And our extraordinary educators are from Allen J. Elementary, Alicia Samuels; from Allen J. Preparatory Academy, LaToya Terrell; from T. Wingate Andrews High School, Marcy Price; Fairview Elementary, Patricia Alford; Ferndale Middle, Stacy Clark Huey; Florence Elementary, Jordan Vale; High Point Central High School, Allison Kelly; Johnson Street Global Studies, Sean Doak; Kearns Academy, Almelia Bird; Kirkman Park Elementary, Sheena Hyder; Middle College at GTCC High Point, Vernay Rogers; Motloo Academy of Technology, Pimnapa Jan Jolsuwan. Hopefully I got that one right. Northwood Elementary, D.L. Underdew; Oakwood Elementary, Sandy McGugan; Oakview Elementary, Caitlin Thompson; Parkview Village Elementary, Kristen Vecchia; Penn Griffin School for the Arts, Sarmilla Day; Shady Brook Elementary, Lynn Swan; Southwest Guilford Elementary, Leslie Kennedy; Southwest Guilford Middle, Darren Turner; Southwest Guilford High, Stephanie Powell; Triangle Lake Montessori, Nicole Martirano; Union Hill Elementary, Tasha Stewart; and Welborn Academy of Science and Technology, Tanya Trent. Now therefore, I, Jay Wagner, Mayor of the City of High Point, do hereby recognize these extraordinary educators in the City of High Point and call upon the community to join with me in personally expressing appreciation to our extraordinary educators for a job well done.
Thank you all so much.
Okay, next on our agenda is our strategic plan update. And I will recognize Councilmember Chris Williams to give us that update.
Thank you, Mayor. You want me to give him a few seconds?
Roll.
Go ahead and roll with it. Okay. The following report, if I can get it to cooperate, will be covering for the month of October. The local code enforcement staff recorded 18 zoning complaints for October. A total of 144 public nuisance cases were abated in October, 46 by the city and 98 abated by the owners. The LCE staff did work Saturday on the 17th and collected 9/17 and collected 61 signs. The staff did not work Saturday in October. Due to the low number of signs being collected, we will be discontinuing this on a regular basis and address it as needed. Local codes are now fully staffed with 6 inspectors. Last one filled was October 24th. 4 properties with ordinance passed for demolition currently out for bid and being inspected for asbestos. 1 property, the owner will be demolishing themselves. There are 7 housing cases with an ordinance passed for demolition waiting for repairs to be completed. These are 33 Wingo, 210 Underhill, 1221 Franklin, 1113 Jefferson, 524 Cross, 1105 Forest, and 1004 Prospect. During the reporting period, there were 475 total active cases, 239 active minimum housing cases, and 92 active public nuisance cases. Now I'll turn the floor over to Laura Loosemore.
Good evening, Mayor, City Council, City Manager. So tonight, I have a couple of houses to show you that you'll see we've worked on for quite a while that were repaired. This one is 524 Roy. We originally inspected it in October of 2019. And in January of 2022, I started thinking about taking it to council because I don't just usually take them right away. I usually give people notice and let them know. So around January, I started letting them know. And this is what the house looked like at that time. And I didn't include all the pictures because I don't have time to sit through all that. But then in April 18th, I was planning to take it, and I let the owners know again. And this is what it looked like. Is it not showing?
Our screens are not on.
Y'all don't have the game on yours?
Not coming up?
No.
If y'all all just turn around and look. I'm just picking.
The mirror on the back wall.
Well, sometimes we have the link, but we don't have the link on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Do y'all want me to go on, or do you want me to wait till you have the pictures?
Just continue and
I'll go slow.
do it, give us the non-visual version.
Okay. House looks bad. There's no walls, no ceilings. That was in January, and then in April of 2022, pretty much the same. Except for the owner did make an attempt to start putting floor down in one of the rooms, some type of ceramic tile, so. But after we told them it was going to go, they let us know, you know, we told them how serious it was going to be, it really would go, we really would tear the house down, and they sold the property in May of 2022, so they asked for additional time, so we gave them that time. They sold it in May of 2022. In August of 2022, the new owners obtained their certificate of occupancy, and it is supposed to be owner occupied. And I really want you to see the after pictures. It looks really nice. It's blue siding, new front railings on the deck, have a little bit of landscaping and mulch around the yard, and nice grayish countertops. I don't know if that's granite countertops or what. A new dishwasher, new flooring, everything, of course, brand new, and has none of this was in there before, but redid everything. They did obtain their certificate, their permits and all, and it passed inspection. So that's 524 Roy. Another one, this is one, 2206 Gable Way. Actually had an ordinance passed on November 1st from you all, and the owner, afterwards, they decided they were going to try and sell it, so they contacted us. We worked out, when we do have kind of a process, we work out with people and make the owners aware that, and they now have to sign a document that they acknowledge everything that we're telling them, so it's not just my word against theirs anymore. But this is what the house looked like. In the front, of course, it didn't look too terribly bad. It's a duplex, but the inside, a tree had fallen on it, and so the roof had fallen, caved in, insulation had fallen, ceiling had fallen, just was in bad shape. But they sold it, surprisingly, and in February of 2022, and the owner obtained their certificate of occupancy in September of 2022. And this is what it looks like now. So they, of course, got their permits and did everything they were supposed to do. And it, like I said before, it is a duplex, so they're identical on each side with the living room. I'm not sure how many bedrooms is in each. I think 2. And that's one side. So that's it.
yeah, these are the stories we like.
Thank you.
Thank you. Lord, any questions for Lord?
No? Give me 10 seconds. Let me see if I can't reach something.
Okay.
We are going to meet earlier this month than normally. We're normally the last day of the month. We'll get an update on the design phase as we move into it, and then we'll have a report out for December.
Okay, thank you. All right, next item on the agenda is our public comment period. We hold public comment, public comment period at our first meeting of each month. Our policy states that people may speak on any item that is not on the agenda. Persons who have signed the register to speak shall be taken in the order that they are listed. Others who wish to speak and have not signed in will be taken after those who have registered. Persons addressing City Council are asked to limit their comments to 3 minutes. Citizens will be asked to come to the podium, give your name and address, and the subject on which you will comment. If there's a large number of people present to register concerns on the same subject, it's suggested that they might want to be acknowledged as a unified group, but have a designated speaker to cover their points. First person on the list tonight is James Hodgkin. There's a timer on the wall for your 3 minutes, but just, thank you.
There.
Right there.
Thank you. Good evening. My name is James Hodgen. I reside at 460 Dilworth Road in Kernersville, North Carolina. I'm coming to you to speak about concerns about the zoning issue, for zoning number ZA 22-22 on Dilworth Road. My concerns are, just to give you background about me, I'm a retired paramedic and emergency department nurse and a trauma nurse. I've been doing that since 1988. Proud graduate of High Point Andrews. In fact, my classmate's here, Byron Strickland. So that was kind of cool seeing him. I hadn't seen him since graduation, actually. But my concern is based upon your site plan and also the land use development plan does not address the issues with regards to public safety within the area. The site plan and the public use plan and the land use development plan also basically say that you have to take into consideration, emergency services within the area. And yet, from my experience working in emergency services for 30 plus years, the closest fire station to that area on Dilworth Road, as well as the area is Station 14 along Sandy Ridge Road. Based upon what I've looked at, it would take probably about 6 to 7 minutes to respond to that area. From the time the call is dispatched to the time they arrive on the scene would be about 6 to 7 minutes. High Point City has a policy of a 5-minute response time. The bigger issue for me is, from an EMS standpoint, is Guilford County EMS, the closest base in that area that is located, that responds to that area is Base 2. Base 2 is located in High Point on Montlou Avenue. You're looking at a bare minimum of a 17 to 20 minute response time from the time the call is dispatched out to the time they arrive on the scene for them to get there. The next closest paramedic that can come to you is Medic 6, which is a quick response vehicle, and they are coming off of West Market Street in Colfax. Time is muscle, time is brain tissue, time is needed in these instances for an emergency, and it would be almost better for folks to respond and go to a hospital in a car versus in that area that you guys are looking at annexing. If you look along Skeet Club Road, you look along Sandy Ridge Road, the land use development plan, you're looking at 40 to 50,000 people coming to that area. I would hope, Guilford County EMS, I spoke with them, they said they have no plans of building a new base anywhere in High Point at all. I would hope that the city would lobby Guilford County to build a base and put an ambulance at Moses Cone and High Point and move Medic 6 over to the PTAR base on Sandy Ridge Road. I would hope that you guys would lobby for that because the population is going to be growing in that area and ambulance services and emergency services are needed in those areas. Thank you very much for your time, and I look forward to seeing you guys in 2 weeks. I believe it's on the agenda in 2 weeks. Am I correct in saying that, Mayor?
I'm not positive which day that's on. Those are, my staff's nodding their heads, so.
It is? Okay. I look forward to seeing you guys then. Thank you for the opportunity, folks.
Mr. Hodges,
Yes, sir.
you go by Tommy, because the email said Tom.
I'm James Thomas. My dad's James Gilbert. My grandfather was James Harold. That's just the way it is. So my email is confusing and stuff. My dad's Jim. My grandfather was Harry, and I'm Tommy. So that's the deal, man. James is a family name, and my son's name's James William.
And I can reach you at the 6332 number?
That right there is do my cell number, the 1155 number. Is that on the email?
Just shoot it to, yes, I do see that, yeah.
Yes.
You're not in anybody's district because you're not high.
No, I'm not. But whoever's got
Close to me?
whoever's got the Dilworth Road area, at Skeet Club Road, I'm assuming that would be you.
I'll call you tomorrow and we'll just kind of, because this isn't really a forum for us to have an open discussion.
That's correct. I agree.
I read your emails today. I saw the mayor's response. And so I think it's worthy of discussing, but I'll just call you tomorrow.
Absolutely. Listen, I appreciate it. I really do appreciate it and stuff, and appreciate the opportunity to come speak. Okay. Thank you for your time, folks.
Thank you. Thanks. Next person on the list is Brian Strickland.
Brian Strickland, 2100 Briarcliff Drive, High Point, North Carolina. The subject I'm speaking on is the Homegrown Music Series. To the members of City Council, the Mayor, City Manager, community leaders, and distinguished guests, as some of you know, TMG is proud to promote the music and arts culture in our town. Therefore, we would like to encourage you to support this year's Homegrown Music Series Holiday Edition. I have a few attachments and some leave behind stuff for you all to kind of mull through and review, so I'll leave that after I'm done. Our first holiday event, Feeding Five Families, will be hosted at Jackie's Place on Sunday, November 20th from 4 to 8 p.m. The admission is $10 with a non-perishable food item. The goal is to feed at least 5 families for Thanksgiving in the High Point community, but of course, our intent is to do more. To end the year, we will host the Homegrown Music Series Christmas Toy Drive at Manna Church on Sunday, December 18th from 4 to 6 p.m. We're excited about the opportunity to work with Pastor Jeff Bullock, as well as the members of Manna, and we look forward to hosting this holiday event at the church. This includes assisting him with next year's Fall Festival that they recently held as well. Lastly, we are happy to announce our recent partnership with VTV Television Network in Atlanta. With the support of COO Jerry Adams, we will develop a content series for the Homegrown Music Series and stream it through their platform. Their outreach extends to over 150 countries. I want to also shout out the following organizations for their partnership and support. D-Up for their distribution, Rashonda Ewings Moses for space at Jackie's Place, Manna Church and Pastor Jeff Bullock, the Hayden Harmon Foundation for their support, DRL Tunes, Optimus Entertainment Group, and VTV Network. Our local artists include Natalie Lucas, Joe Biz, Wills, Trayvon Rashad, Real Love Music, and your host, Born. If you're interested in contributing, please contact us at 336-307-6332. And as always, we appreciate your consideration and support. Thank you.
Thank you.
May I leave these with someone?
Yeah, you could just hand those to Michael. Next on the list is Vernay Rogers. Did I pronounce that right? Vernay? Yes. Okay, no problem. Is there anyone else who did not have a chance to sign up who would like to speak during the public comment period? Okay, seeing none, I will close the public comment period. And we will move to the Finance Committee portion of our agenda. Councilman Britt Moore is not here, so Councilman Vic Jones will be handling this portion of the agenda.
Yeah, so following the council retreat, you guys got to go home. We had to stick around for a little bit longer, and we did meet there at the City Lake Park. We present to you items 2022-434 through 437 as a consent agenda, and I make a motion to approve.
Okay, there's a motion to approve and a second for these items. Is there any discussion on any of the items? Okay, hearing none. All those in favor of approval of the finance consent agenda items, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Is there anyone opposed? Okay, that motion passes unanimously. And that's it, I think, for finance. Next on the agenda are planning and development items. There's only one item that's not impending, and that is a request to initiate some zoning map amendments. And I see Heidi Galante has made her way to the podium. So Heidi, I'll recognize you.
It's not going to work for you guys. It's going to be a really pretty map.
Is it in our?
It's in our note.
It's in your packet.
Oh, good. Yeah, we have it in our notes. Okay. All right, go ahead.
All right, hang on. Let me just start this for everybody else. Mayor and council members, I am Heidi Galante, Planning Services Administrator with the Planning and Development Department. This will be a presentation requesting a zoning initiation in accordance with the recommendations of the Jamestown Bypass Land Use Assessment, which was adopted in May of 2021. The assessment recommended a zoning change for 2 areas along the railroad tracks between North Scientific Street and Dillon Road south of the new Jamestown bypass as shown on the map. Area 6A contains 4 parcels that total approximately 18 acres. The area has a mix of residential and industrial uses. The zoning is also a mix of residential single-family 5, heavy industrial, light industrial, and this area was annexed into the city in the 1960s, and it's been currently zoned as it is now since 1992. Due to the construction of the bypass, which has isolated this small area of industrial, The recent development of Wren Farms residential subdivision diagonally across the intersection and the proximity to other residential neighborhoods, this area may be best suited for residential. It is recommended that City Council initiate a zoning change for this area to reserve it for future residential development. The R5 zoning district is recommended for this area, which is consistent with the zoning applied to the existing residential areas to the north and south. Area 6B contains 9 parcels that total approximately 58 acres. The area is currently undeveloped except for one small parcel on South Scientific Street next to the railroad tracks and the unopened right-of-way shown with a light green cul-de-sac. Approximately 24 acres of this area is currently owned by the city for a potential future park that's shown with the speckle pattern on the map. The area is constrained by lack of access, rough topography, and a perennial stream. The area has been zoned light industrial since 1959, and only 1 3/4 acre parcel has been developed with a small office that was built in 1986. It is recommended that City Council initiate a rezoning for this area due to its constraints and adjacency to existing residential uses to the south and east. Residential single family 3 zoning district is recommended for this area, which is consistent with the zoning applied to the existing residential area to the south and east. In preparation for this initiation, staff sent letters to the 4 affected property owners describing the recommended zoning change and asked them to contact staff to discuss the recommendations. 3 property owners responded to the letters. Mr. Irvin and Mr. Glover both own properties in 6A, and due to having existing businesses, they're not in favor of having their property rezoned. Mr. Glover also owns property in Area 6B, but it is currently undeveloped, so he is not as concerned with the rezoning on the east side of the tracks. Mr. Toman owns the 3/4 acre parcel at 101 South Scientific Street in Area 6B. Staff met with him, and he is generally not opposed to the rezoning request. Staff has not heard from the 4th owner, but he is in the Glover family. Staff recommends initiation of the zoning map amendments to proceed through the public comment and consideration at the Planning and Zoning Commission and City Council prior to making a decision. Do you have any questions for me?
Anyone with questions for Heidi? Thank you, Heidi. Okay, so really, all we're voting on tonight is to initiate the process. We're not voting on the actual zoning. So I'm going to make a motion that we approve the initiation of the zoning map amendment process on these items. Is there a second?
Second.
A motion and a second. Any discussion on the motion? Okay, hearing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Okay, that motion passes. The 4 items that we have in pending, I believe, are all related to the airport overlay. And we had continued those items to this meeting. The public hearing on this, I'm informed by staff, was closed. So we have taken all the comment we're going to take. I have one question of staff. Have there been any changes made to the proposal since the last time we talked about this?
No, not since either meeting, at the council meeting or at the work session.
And it's
Everything
still
is the same.
And it's still the staff's recommendation to approve it as presented?
Correct.
Okay. All right. Let's go down these one by one. So the first one is the land use policy evaluation. And our Planning and Development Department recommends approval of the Airport Overlay District land use policy evaluation. And I will make a motion to approve that item.
Mayor, I think you need to
What?
have a motion to bring them out of pending.
Oh, you want me to do that first? Okay, all right. I was wondering about that, but, okay. I was a little confused. All right, so I will make a motion to pull items, let's see, 434, 435, 436, and 437 out of pending and place them on the agenda. Is there a second?
Second.
There's a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay, so those motions have been pulled from pending, and we can take action on them. And I will then now make a motion for approval of item 2022-434.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Any discussion on this motion? Okay, hearing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Okay, that motion passes unanimously. Next is zoning map amendment case 22-21. This is the request to amend the airport overlay district based on the recent Piedmont Triad International Airport Part 150 study. I will make a motion for approval. Is there a second?
Second.
And I will include, make sure y'all are watching. And I will also include in my motion, the consistency and reasonableness statement as presented by the staff in the staff report. I will adopt that, and there's a second, okay. Any discussion on this motion?
The question, so just for clarity, as we were discussing prior to the council meeting, if someone who, or anybody or landowner wants to do something outside of that, the process would, for us to allow that would be to technically rezone a parcel? What are you referring to?
I'm sorry, can you repeat the question?
I know this heavily restricts the use in that overlay district. What would be the process, once we pass this, go with staff's recommendations, but if somebody wanted to put some type of residential in those areas that's not currently allowed, what would be the process if our council or future council wanted to allow that?
They would have to come and request an amendment to the overlay.
Okay.
And again, remember, this overlay is only applicable to those areas that are in the city and as they are annexed. So if it is somebody in Guilford County, they're going to have to abide by the Guilford County overlay and obviously Greensboro overlay.
Okay, just needed clarity, thank you.
Any other questions on this item, on the motion? Okay. All in favor of approval of zoning map amendment 22-21, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Is there anyone opposed? That motion passes unanimously. Next is plan amendment 22-04. This is the request by the Planning and Development Department to change the land use plan classification for approximately 77.8 acres from restricted industrial to low-density residential classification. The site is between Sandy Camp Road and Kleiner Farms Road, south of Sandy Ridge, and I move for approval. Is there a second?
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Any discussion on the motion? Okay, hearing none. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Okay, that motion passes unanimously. The final one is text amendment 22-03. This is the request of the Planning and Development Department to amend various sections of the City of High Point Development Ordinance related to the Airport Overlay District. I move for approval.
And,
Is there a second?
yeah, the same thing.
We also
The
need consistency.
and reasonable statement.
Okay, and I included in my motion the adoption of the consistency and reasonable statement as stated in our staff report. Is there a second? Second. Okay, multiple seconds. Any discussion on the motion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? And that motion passes unanimously. I tell you, the lawyers who created that at the Supreme Court ought to be
I know.
taken out and dragged through the street. All right. We have one.
I'd like to make a motion to suspend the rules for the purpose of adding an agenda item to update the One High Point Commission roster, please.
Okay, there's a motion to suspend the rules to add a appointment to the One High Point Commission. Is there a second? Thank you. Okay, there's a motion and a second to suspend the rules to add the item. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Okay, so the rules have been suspended to add this item. Councilman Hutchinson.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. As part of our One High Point Commission resolution, the NAACP has two appointees to the One High Point Commission. One of those appointees has resigned. Mr. Charles Hensley has resigned. And the High Point branch of the NAACP has chosen Mrs. Faye McCauley as a replacement, and I make a motion to approve her as a replacement.
Second. Okay, there's a motion and a second to approve Mr. McCauley, was it?
Yes.
As a replacement on the One High Point Commission. Any discussion on this item? Hearing none. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? That motion passes unanimously.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
All right. Last on the agenda is our general business agenda, and that is just some minutes to be approved. We have two sets of minutes to be approved. I'll make a motion to approve those minutes. Is there a second?
Second. Thank you.
Motion and second to approve the minutes. Any discussion on the minutes? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? And that motion passes unanimously. All right. Anyone have any announcements, say anything they'd like to say prior to adjourning?
Go vote.
Go vote.
Well, I was definitely gonna say, go vote tomorrow. Please make your voice be heard. Another thing I was gonna say to all our veterans, especially Councilman Jones, who served here on council, and other veterans who are in the room and across our community. Just want to say how much we appreciate you and the service that you've given to our great country. Veterans Day is this Friday. Please make sure to thank a vet. If you've got the budget, take a vet out to lunch, or out to breakfast, or out to dinner, or out for drinks, or out for coffee, or just do something for a vet. So there's not enough to repay what they've done in terms of contributing, and just want to make sure we say thank you, seriously.
One way we're saying thank you is, I think, beginning tonight, the library in City Hall is going to be lit green right now. If we're outside, it is green. City Hall is green right now. It was daylight when I got here, so I didn't notice. But, and I would encourage anybody listening and anybody in the room to run out to Home Depot and buy you a green light bulb and put it in your front window. Put it in a lamp in the front window, not just the bulb. And,
Good idea.
And light up the front of your house for the next week for Veterans Day. It's a very easy way to show appreciation for those who have served our country. So,
We'll say if you're a veteran, you haven't signed up, definitely sign up for the HPU breakfast they're doing this Friday morning. It's always a great presentation, and our local station, Fox 8, will be doing a highlight of all veterans for starting at 7. But Bob Buckley has been following around my organization for the last 3 or 4 months with his reporter. I think they're doing supposed to be like a 30-minute story on the Hero Center and all the work we're doing here in High Point. So I'll be on Friday evening as well.
And Mayor, there are actually a couple other events I think are really huge. Tomorrow, the United States Air Force Heritage of America event will take place at the theater. That's another great time to celebrate that sort of heritage. Thank you. It is at 7 p.m. at the theater. The mayor is going to be there speaking, and several other council members. Then also,
I'm filling in for mayor, actually.
I'm
okay.
actually not going to be there, but Councilman Jones is going to take my place.
Yep, so Councilman Jones. And then Thursday evening, all day Thursday, is going to be a celebration of the new soccer team coming to town. So they're going to do a big name reveal about that soccer team coming. It's going to be a party down at County Yard. So certainly invite folks to the press conference at 2 and invite you back later for festivities as well. That'll be fun. And the holiday parade. Sorry, how can we forget the holiday parade? I think the 19th and 20th. The 19th is the holiday party with the tree lighting at the stadium. Then the 20th is the holiday parade. And so if you've not already made plans to come out to celebrate, please feel free to join plenty of community folks for that. I think I'm done now, Mayor.
All right. Last chance. Anybody else? Okay. Then I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Second.
So moved.
So moved.
And there's a motion and a second to adjourn the meeting. Any discussion on the motion? Okay, hearing none, all those in favor of adjourning, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? It is unanimous, and we are adjourned.